this is Kathleen, and I'm happy to be here today to spend a little time with you. I want to ask you a question. How do you decide what journal to make next? Today, I'm going to share how I find inspiration for making my journals and what drives my decision. I want to answer two questions. The first is, what is a concept journal? And the second, how do I go through the process of making a concept journal? So when I am trying to decide what journal to make next, it usually is one of two things that happens. The first is I either have a theme that I want to explore. It just seems like no matter how many floral journals I make, I'm always up for making another one. I love to make steampunk journals and I always want to make another one. So if there's a theme that I want to explore, it's easy to just follow that and make a themed journal. But sometimes I get a concept in my head, like an idea. I see an image or I have a mental idea of something that I want to express. And I call that a concept, and I want to create a journal that will express that concept. That's a little more difficult than a theme journal. With a theme journal, it's easy to just kind of use the things that I have around me all the time, the media that I love to use, and just go to, the images and the designer papers that I have that I'm used to using. But with a concept journal, I need to kind of explore that in my own mind and define it and kind of create the boundaries and then find the media that will help me express that. So let me show you how this happens in my mind. So the other day I was in Dollar Tree and I saw these stickers, and the quirky kind of handmade look of them made me stop and remember how I used to doodle in my math notebook during geometry when I was in high school. Just next to the alphabet stickers were these stylized floral rub-on transfers, and I knew that I wanted to make a journal that would express both the nostalgia of my youth and the modern folk art style that is so contemporary and fun today. So the Dollar Tree Junk Journal is now a concept, and concept journals take a little different path in creating, as I was saying. So let me share that process. Almost immediately, my mind started putting this journal together. I knew what materials I was going to look for. I thought of the media that I wanted to use. I'm certain of the style I was going for. I knew that this journal would be a nice project to demonstrate to beginning journalers because folk art is so accessible to all levels of skill. And I knew that media and materials for the modern folk art style are commonly available and really almost endless. I immediately started looking through the Dollar Tree for things that I could use in this journal, and I found several. But I've learned to rein in some of my rampant thoughts and ideas and follow a process so that the journal actually becomes an expression of my concept. So there's about 5 steps that I go through. So the first step is to make the concept clear in my mind. I need to define it and create some boundaries, as I was saying, so that the project doesn't just get out of hand or go on forever and ever. 1 or 2 signatures, a semi-soft denim fabric cover, that's what I was thinking of. And I want to think young. This is kind of outside of my usual vintage, what I love to create, old-fashioned and vintage, but I want the journal to feel contemporary and youthful and yet be sophisticated. I don't want it to look like, grade school. So this modern folk art style for this journal is going to be perfect. So here are my concept terms, and I will apply these terms to the choices I make for the journal. I want a worn out, clean, contemporary, youthful, sophistication, folk art style journal. So worn out because I want it to look lived in and comfortable. clean as opposed to grungy, which I also sometimes really enjoy doing. I want it to be contemporary as opposed to vintage or old-fashioned. I want it to be youthful in opposition to old-fashioned, but I also want it to be sophisticated, that is opposite of childlike, if you know what I'm saying. So that youthful sophistication, it's a juxtaposition that is deliberate in my mind. Modern folk art or contemporary folk art, that's what I'm going for. So the second step is to make like a mood board, or more generally in my case, a mood bin. This serves as like a visual tool to quickly inform and remind me of the overall feel or flow of my thoughts and the concept in my mind. It's what, in the whole creative process, my mood bin kind of balances my creative thoughts with an actual production of the project. I need to have a concrete item or a representation of the idea in the bin. So do you want to see some of the mood bin for this Dollar Tree journal? Yeah. So I've kind of done this sort of regular mood board that has some materials and ideas, that I can use. Some colors. It's got the colors that I'm going for. And it's all kind of based around this this modern folk art, that these shapes, and it's very Matisse kind of cut paper kind of thing. So these are some of the things that I have put on top of the box. And then, as I said, I started to go through Dollar Tree. I found the capitals for the alphabet journal. I found this very childlike stencil, but I think that it's going to match really well, this concept journal. It's a very flat European folk art-ish kind of style. I found this because the colors match. I looked at the nail polish and found these beautiful, very sophisticated colors, and glitter, silver. So I've decided that silver, because of the letters, I'm going to use silver instead. I usually use gold. I found a couple of fabric pieces in the Dollar Tree that are going to, I think, look really well in the journal. I found this kind of pretty jute. It's just a twisted navy color. I think that's going to go well. And then there are also these jute trims. And I found some washi tape. I started in my stash to go through my stash. I found this baby card and I'm going to cut the duck out and just use the embossed textured frame. I got some paint chips to kind of help guide my color scheme and to use in the journal. I went through my stash. The other day I found in the thrift store, I found this pad of paper that it was just all cut up and it's just scraps. But among those scraps, I got it for $1.50. And among those scraps were this page and this page, this green that I really liked, this blue. And then I went through my stash and found some other, this was in there as well, this funny paper. So I have some papers now to kind of help inform the signatures. This is not going to be completely usable, but I love this green alphabet and some of these other little tags. I I'm going to use some graphic stencils. And then I'm going to do the cover with just this denim. But the denim is a little bit dark and kind of not what I was going for. So I think what I'm going to do is turn it inside out and use this lighter side and do maybe some slow stitching and some painting and other mixed media kinds of things on here. So now I know that it's going to be a semi-soft cover covered with this denim fabric, and so that, and maybe 1 or 2 signatures. We'll see kind of how that goes. But I want to do, you know, stencils and texture paste and doodling and paint smishing and all the fun mixed media stuff. So now we've got the mood board, we've got the concept defined. So then the third step is just to continue to collect possible materials. So I continue to search the stash and I hit the streets and the thrift stores and see what's out there. The fourth step is to begin making the journal. And at that point, you know, I can kind of then evaluate, which is the fifth step, and refine the concept. Once I start making the journal, the projects sometimes take over. And I don't know how that happens, but sometimes it becomes something different, you know, than what I started out to do. But that's okay. So then, you know, I make and evaluate and make some more and refine the concept. And then finally, I end up making the journal. So that's the process to making a concept journal. I've now got a concept journal for the Dollar Tree folk art journal, and we'll see how that progresses. I'm going to do this in kind of a series, sort of like we did Boho Nouveau Fairy journal. I'm going to make several things along with you. The first is going to be how to make your own stencil from recycled clamshell packaging. So stay tuned. I know this video has been kind of information dense, but if the process has been helpful to you, would you do me a favor and hit that like button? I thank you for the support of my channel. And if you hit the bell, then you'll get a notification when I post the next video in this series. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me. I always like to spend time with you. We'll see you.